Any idea how many students take the board exams every year? 1 lakh, 10 lakhs? Well, last year approximately 27 lakh 36,883 students appeared alone for the CBSE board examinations. And if you add the numbers from the state boards, ICSE, and other central boards, the number is mind boggling. It could be up to 1 crore students every year. Now imagine the amount of pressure your child will be facing before and during such board examinations with this competition. As a parent, you cannot change the external situation. However, you can take small steps to make this journey easier for your child. In this video, we will discuss some important points to help your child score well in the board examinations and reduce stress. Hi, I'm Akshay Jalan and I work as a senior project manager at IIT Bombay since a decade. And primarily, I'm doing these videos to help students in their career journey and empower parents so that they can take an appropriate role and guide the child in making his career a grand success. Also, I do a webinar where I unravel the secrets of career selection and career growth. You can know more about this webinar by going to my website link jakshay.com. So let's begin this video where we are going to discuss about some ways to help your child do well in board exams. Though it talks specifically about board exams, but it can be useful even if your child is going through a regular school examination or college examination. So please watch out these tips, take notes, and apply in your life. But before we move ahead, let's start with a story. So Radhika was 13-year-old student of class 9. She was a sincere student and spent 3-4 hours daily preparing for exams. However, she was never able to complete her mathematics paper. Her mom tried various ways to help her increase her efficiency in the subject, but nothing actually seemed to work. So Radhika's mom then consulted a friend about this issue who suggested a good career counselor that could help students to enhance their performance. The first point is help them manage their time. Time management is the biggest problem faced by students, especially during their high school. With so many things to juggle during the day, from school, homework, and exams to tuitions and extracurricular activities, working without a proper structure ends up making the preparation chaotic and unplanned. So, as a parent, you can lend a helping hand to build a useful schedule for their days and weeks to help them efficiently utilize their time. I recently met a student whose name was Meera, was a humanities student and also pursued dance as a passionate hobby. And she wanted to pursue a degree in mass communication after class 12. Yet her scores had started dropping sharply in class 12th as compared to 11th grade. So her mother decided to step in and inquired about her entire schedule. She wrote down the number of hours she was spending on each activity, like school, dance class, tuitions, self study, etc. And noticed that her tuitions were actually taking a toll on her and she was better with self study. So her tuitions were reduced to 3 days a week so that Meera could get the support she required and at the same time make time for self study. Also, her mother divided her subjects history, psychology, home science, geography, and English per day and kept 30 minutes for newspaper reading, which could be helpful for her entrance examinations in future. Her mother also made sure that she attended her dance classes only on the weekends to maintain a balance. So gradually, Mehak's score started improving and she also used to feel less fatigue. So it's important to realize the areas your child is facing issues with and help them manage in a better way. Time management is very, very crucial when it comes to children. Next comes being there works like magic. So, what I mean by being there is not being there just physically, but also emotionally. That can have a lot of positive effect and build confidence in your child. Because students usually face an intense amount of anxiety and pressure, especially during the exam preparation phase. So, knowing that someone is always there for them can make a huge difference to their mental well being. So, as a parent, it is a time to minimize your outings. Maybe you can put a hold on your favorite TV shows and family vacations because this is the time to constantly support your child. Be aware of the state of mind and be available emotionally whenever they need you. A few months back, actually, I met a lady whose daughter, Radhika, was appearing for the board exam this year. According to her, she was spending more and more time with her daughter and made it a point to discuss her progress regularly. Yes, of course, do not remember to overdo it. We need to give them the space to the child whenever required. Next is using the right words. So, we must have heard a lot of people saying that you should never compare your child with others. These statements hold a lot of merit. Every child is unique and you should celebrate their differences and uniqueness. So, it can be a designer, someone can be a writer, or it could be even be a dancer in a child. Right? Sometimes parents feel that if my child is not doing academically well, probably it's good for nothing. But this is far from true because every child is very unique. And if a child is not able to score high grades in a particular subject, there could be a possibility we should look at कि वो किसमें अच्छा है. Once a student parent came to me and said that I'm concerned that my child is weak in mathematics. I said, yeah, definitely that is a concern and we could address that. But have you looked at the areas that he's strong in and focus on that as well? That is more important. That's what I said. So every child has its own strengths, and allowing them to build on them can make them more successful in the long run rather than just hovering over the weaknesses. And marks actually are not the criteria of success in life. And you should help them in identifying the strength areas in a supportive environment where they can get continuous motivation, right? So we should avoid these kind of statements, to our child, like, your future depends on this exam. If you want to do well in life, you must do well in these exams. It is good to make them understand the importance of exams, but it should not be done at the expense of their well-being. So these statements could scare them and create a feeling of fear, which might hamper their performance. So simply use statements like, perform your best. It's just an exam. Your future will depend on your hard work and not just marks, etc. Next comes monitor their progress and help them create self-help aids. So weekly assessments can help in mapping your child's progress and figuring out their weak areas. So motivate your child to take up regular mock tests in a proper exam-like setting. And it's very important to look at previous year's question papers, understand the pattern and the kind of questions that could have been asked, and make sure that when they're taking a mock test, they attempt within the time limit, and also they attempt in a simulated environment, like in which means that they sit in a closed room and take their examination. And also remember that solving mock papers is an effective solution only if you are using them to critically evaluate the performance and find out the weak areas. Like just taking mock test after mock test will not be very helpful. It's important that कि mock test लेने के बाद हम बैठ के उनको analyze करें कि ये सही में बच्चे के लिए helpful है या नहीं. So once they've completed the test, ask them to write down their weak areas, pattern of mistakes, and areas they're comfortable with. Like if they got a question wrong, why did they get it wrong? They did not understand it conceptually. Was it a careless mistake? Even if they got it right, whether they could answer it fully or whether it was more of guesswork like that. So this then help them in making better revision plans and improve their performance over time by understanding that if their strengths and weaknesses and if they're getting the right answer for the right reasons. That's also very important. So sometimes students also get confused in certain types of areas and lose marks, such as which formula to apply when, who was the last emperor, where is Newton's law of inertia. So to help them with this, you can advise them to create self-help aids like small sheets or flashcards with mathematical formulas, accountancy formulas, physics laws, historical events, all those things. Stick-on, add-on notes we use. And you can even help them, by taking oral tests or asking them questions. And even writing down certain portions can help them to retain in their memory. Next is motivate them with rewards. So children generally perform better if you set targets for their entire preparation journey and reward each target, each milestone with their favorite items. One example was where Mr. Sen, he divided his daughter's syllabus into small tasks by chapters. And achieving each task, he rewarded his foodie daughter with her favorite food items. So this is just an example of a short-term reward. And he also promised that he would take her to her favorite destination for a holiday if she scored more than 90%. So rewards can be set for both short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals will be like completion of specific chapters, improvement in performance on mocks, and long-term goals could be scores on the unit tests, sessionals, pre-boards, etc. So this short-term and long-term goals together can help your child stay motivated to the entire preparation journey towards the board examinations. And you can use anything that will motivate your child. It could be a new dress, tickets to a sports events, allowing them to watch their favorite movie, or giving but avoid giving punishments. However, as they generate a feeling of negativity and fear, especially in the teenagers. Number six, very important is to discuss their exam strategy. It's very important that how to write answers, how to make answers presentable, which questions to attempt first, how to divide time between various sections are a few areas where a child might need help. It has been observed during a survey that 6 out of 10 students actually they don't pay attention to this strategy and lose out on very important marks. So it's very important to sit with them and discuss their areas and help them formulate a strategy. Generally, when we go for exam, it's very important that first when they're going for the examination, they should attempt all those questions they're 100% sure about, the questions which they're very comfortable with. Then they could go to those questions which they have some doubt about. Medium level उनको लगता है कि कुछ marks वहाँ पे ले सकेंगे, वो attempt करना. And last would be attempting those questions which they are completely unsure about. So this way they will be able to gain the maximum marks. तो जो marks हमारे sure है वो पहले हमको ले लेने. That is very very important strategy. It could be applied rather than fidgeting with those questions initially where we are not even sure about. Next is removing distraction. It could be music, it could be TV, it could be chit chat with friends. So every student has a particular distraction. It's very important that we help to find out which one is interfering with your child's studies and tackle in the right manner. For example, Satish had a habit of listening to music while studying, and he was not able to concentrate properly, and this was affecting his retention power as well. So his mother replaced this music with instrumental tones to help him learn better. So you can thus deal with the problem by mitigating the situation instead of completely removing what your child likes. एक और example है कि Mr. Verma, he was a father of a 16-year-old who wrote her class 10 board exams last year. So her daughter had a habit of visiting her best friend every day and was losing out on precious time due to this. And she was also addicted to several TV series. So he advised that कि आप बेटा you go to her friend but go on alternate days and for some time. And he also asked them to watch the series together when the friends met. So this way he helped her save the time that she was actually wasting early without completely removing something that the child likes. Just listen to them after exams. The time right after the exam is very crucial. This is a period where a child needs someone to share their feelings, fears, and anxiety about the paper and the impending result. So listen to the side of the story and give them the sweet time to discuss the paper without any judgments. Even if they have performed well, they need a pat on the back. Also, be very careful to avoid scrutinizing the paper at length to point out the mistakes they committed. अरे ये कर देते तो ये तुमको आता था, वो करना चाहिए था, like that. So while we may think that this helps the child learn from their mistakes, it does more harm than good by bringing down their morale, especially right after they're putting all efforts into the examination, and also they may be waiting for another next paper to come up. So if you wish to help the child learn from their mistakes, do it few days after the examination. And it's very important that how we communicate. So avoid negative statements here too and focus on constructive feedback. Probably, you could have answered in this way, and try to understand, what is preventing a child from doing its best in the particular way. And it's very important to listen to them. Active listening will play a very important role when the child is describing something. So once they complete their story of the challenge that they faced in the particular examination, if they're not able to perform, ask them questions regarding the plan of action for the next exam. Then comes monitor and identify any warning signs. So no matter how well prepared a student is, they tend to feel anxious during exams and are worried about the results. Even it is true for the toppers also, especially when it comes to board exams. So it's really important to ensure their mental well-being by checking with them at regular intervals. While being nervous or anxious to some extent is normal, but if the child is using negative statements such as I can't do it, I'm a failure, I won't be able to do anything, then it could be something we should be concerned about. There are some other things or signs in extreme cases such as loss of appetite, irregular sleeping pattern, irritated mood, anger issues, loss of patience that could indicate that the child is not keeping well or is taking undue stress. So keep a check. If you observe any odd or behavior changes, it is time for you to intervene. So talk to them about it or involve any sibling, brother or sister whom they trust more to help. So summing up, we discussed about these 9 different parameters that could be helpful when it comes to guiding your child or empowering them during the examinations. First is help them manage their time. Second is being there works like magic. It's very important to be there for your child. And then is about using the right words, right form of communication, the positive words without criticism. And then comes your monitor and help them create self help aids that could help them retain better memory in terms of formulas or dates or events, etc. And then motivate them with rewards, with both short term and long term rewards that could keep them motivated. Then comes discuss their exam strategy, what kind of strategy they follow in their examinations, which the order of questions and etc. they attempt. That should be proper, and they should understand that they should attempt the questions that are most easy for them. Then comes remove distractions. It's very important to identify the list of distractions and instead of eliminating them, dovetail them in the right direction or fine tune them so that they can be happy to pursue that. At the same time, it doesn't come in the way of them being successful in the examinations. Then comes listen to them after exams, where it's talking about empathic listening, understanding their thoughts and feelings, the challenge in the particular examination, and asking them, from them what kind of strategies they want to build up so that they could do better in the next examination. And then comes your monitoring and identifying warning signs in case of, they speaking something negative about or displaying signs like loss of appetite, etc. So talking to them, understanding them, observing that, and taking appropriate action. So it's very important to remember that being with our child is like supporting them is very very important, and understanding that every child is different without judging them. So every child is different, and no one knows a child better than you do. And it is great to be involved in helping a child with his or her preparations, but you should know where to draw a line. If your child feels you're interfering in their life at any point, talk to them openly to understand their requirements and give the space wherever they need. So, parents, if you watch this video, think about which are the points that you're going to apply. So, Radhika's mother, she took home the points discussed here and put them to test. She first analyzed Radhika's answers and realized that she had a habit of solving the paper in one sequence. If you remember Radhika's story I talked in the beginning, how she was facing challenge in the maths examinations. So this is how mother helped her, like in terms of analyzing the answers and realizing that she had the habit of solving the paper in a sequence. वो शुरू से start करती थी और end तक जाती थी, first, second, third, fourth. The first 10 questions carried 1 mark each, and the last section of the paper had questions carrying 6 marks. And she was generally slow at the beginning of the paper and hence was spending more time on this 1 mark section. So उन्होंने डॉक्टर को सजेस्ट किया you start with the last section first, by which she could invest more time on the section carrying more weightage. Even if she missed out on some questions, then she would lose out on fewer marks than earlier. So this actually helped Radhika to get better marks and grades in her maths examination. So this was how Radhika's mother helped her daughter flourish. What about you? Which of the 9 strategies that was discussed in this video would you like to apply? Okay? And how are you going to use these tips to enhance your child's growth? So let us know in the comment box. If you like this video and you find it valuable, I invite you to share this video with other parents who could also empower the child in the career journey. So please subscribe to this channel as well so that the next video that comes up can empower you in your child's career journey and in your life as a student and a parent as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. All the best for your exams.